Okay. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to day 3 and the final day of NSDAB's first international conference. It's been a wonderful learning experience for me, and I hope it's also been for everyone who has attended from the beginning. The theme of this conference is AI and the future of data professionals, adapting, thriving, and learning. And we have had a lot of lectures, a lot of paper presentations from different sources, and it's been wonderful. It's been a beautiful experience, knowledge packed and insightful. Today won't be any less because we know that the end of a thing is always better. So we have something in stock today for you. We welcome you once again. We've had so many speakers, and today we have another wonderful speaker waiting to join us who will be introduced later. But before we welcome our speaker for today, we would like to tell you, for those of you who are joining us today for the first time, I would like to introduce the society to you. What is NSDABI? Who is NSDABI? You have been hearing NSDABI and you're wondering, okay, what's this all about? So in full, NSDABI is Nigerian Society of Data Analysts and Business Intelligence Experts. We have our missions, our objective, and our programs. Our mission is to empower data analysts and business intelligence professionals in Nigeria through capacity building, knowledge sharing, and the promotion of ethical practices, fostering innovation and excellence in data-driven decision-making for national development. What's our objective? To be the leading professional association in Nigeria, uniting data analysts and business intelligence experts to drive impactful insights, champion best practices, and contribute to the nation's socio-economic growth through the transformative power of data. What are our core values? Integrity, innovation, knowledge sharing, and collaboration. We have a lot of programs, some of which are training, workshops, and conferences, just like this one, which is our first ever international conference. And if you are interested in joining the association, for more details, just go to www.nsdabi.com.ng, which is currently displayed on your screen right now. All the information you need for registration, it's going to be stated on the website. At this point, without wasting much of our time, I would like to hand over to Ms. Debbie, who will be introducing our speaker for today. Deborah, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Loretta. My name is Deborah Okoro David. I'm a facilitator at NSDABI. So I'll be introducing the speaker shortly. But first, let me share my screen. So it is with great pleasure we welcome Ms. Tina Okonkwo, who is a data analyst and business intelligence professional. Tina Okonkwo is an award-winning data analyst and technical community manager at Jadis Ford with a strong passion for data storytelling and using data to drive business decisions. With a background in mathematics and a keen eye for problem solving, she's been very vocal about leveraging data-driven strategies to optimize decision-making across various industries. Alongside her role at Jadis Ford, Tina actively serves as a community manager at Jada Community Africa, guiding beginners in smoothly transitioning into the field of data. She's also an advocate for building in public and showing your work online. Beyond her corporate engagements, Tina is a digital creator and a data analytics tutor, having trained over 6,000 individuals in data analytics tools and concepts. Her dedication extends to publishing multiple articles, particularly focusing on initiating careers in data analysis. Tina spends a lot of time on Twitter and LinkedIn talking about her experience as a woman in tech. She's extremely passionate about the data community and is trying to drive inclusion for women in technology. Her impact has been recognized through features in notable platforms like TechCabal, Vanguard, Ventures Africa, DataCamp, and Ingressive for Good. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our speaker today, Tina Okonkwo. You can have the floor, Tina Okonkwo. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Tina Okonkwo, and I'm actually very excited, and I'm actually really honored to be with you here today. And I want to sincerely thank the Nigerian Society of Data Analysts and Business Intelligence Experts for inviting me to actually deliver this closing keynotes. It's a privilege actually to be here with you guys today. And I know there are lots of, if I can just gauge like the audience here today, I would take it that there are so many professionals on here. They would actually, I was listening when she was introducing like the board of advisors and all of the other stuffs, and I can tell that there are a lot of professionals here. There'll be a lot of leaders and also maybe even, you know, aspiring analysts actually. And it's exciting to see that all of us are committed to the future of the data field. And I'm sure that everybody on this call, we all know that we're standing at a very unique moment. And it's a moment where everybody's asking, what would happen to my job now that AI is here, right? And in as much as this moment is filled with excitement and fear, if we're being honest, we've all felt both, right? At a point, you know, you felt that rush that, oh, I'm so happy that, thank God for AI. AI is helping me solve this particular problem. And there are some times where you have gotten scared. If AI can do this thing, what exactly am I even actually doing in this field, right? But the truth is, I've come to understand through my work and through training others and even my experience with some of the AI solutions that we've been building at work, that AI will not replace people that are actually solving problems. It only helps amplify them, right? And today I want us to step away from the fear and start to look into some of these opportunities, because our future is not actually disappearing, it's actually evolving. And the people who will actually lead this evolution are all of us here today, right? All of us here that are on this call today. Now, quick one, before we go into the nitty-gritty. I know she has done a very great job introducing me, but I'll just briefly introduce myself so you have context for the perspective that I'm actually sharing. I'm a Microsoft certified data analyst, and I have experience across several industries. Currently, I serve as a technical community manager at Jada Squad. Jada Squad is actually a data and AI augmentation company, right? What we do is we train and upskill data analysts, AI guys, data scientists, experts in our academy and connect them with like roles across Europe, right? And I help lead community initiatives as well through Data Community Africa. Data Community Africa is just a community of all the data experts that you find, right? Just brings together all data experts, and we hold our flagship conference every year, Data Fest Africa. If you're in the data space, I'm sure you'll be familiar with this conference. I'm also the founder of Power BI Project Club, where I help people build projects, data visualization projects. So the main goal of this of the Project Club is to just, you know, help people build a great portfolio so that that will make them job ready. I also, aside all of this, I train and mentor a lot of people on Power BI, data visualization, as well as storytelling with data. And much more importantly, I'm passionate about helping people grow in this field, especially those who are just starting out and trying to find the confidence, right? People that are trying to actually build something meaningful out of this career. So when I speak about how the data profession is changing, I'm speaking from hands-on experience, industry observations, conversations with other professionals, and months of integrating AI into my analytical work. And need I say that this topic is actually very personal to me, and I want this conversation to actually empower you. And basically what we're just going to be talking about is the human advantage, why problem solvers would actually lead this AI era. That is what we're going to be talking about in this particular session. All right, so let's get right into it, right? And I want us to start with being honest here. We've all heard like all the dramatic takes about AI, right? AI will take your job. AI can do everything. ChatGPT will replace you, that you're an analyst. You know, in fact, there are cases where people have said it's time to actually learn tech. If you're not learning how to code today, you would actually be irrelevant tomorrow. And yes, some of these statements, you know, they come from genuine fear, right? Why some come from like misunderstanding of what exactly is actually happening in this era. And many come from people who have not even actually seen what AI cannot even do, right? But here's the truth. AI is actually powerful, to be very honest, but it's not magic, right? It's not even wise as much as we think it is. It can generate, but it exactly cannot understand what our problem is. I'll tell you for a fact that AI will write all of your codes. It will generate those SQL scripts for you, write your DAX, and even automate your, dashboard. But something that AI cannot really do, even though we've seen cases of where AI have started to do some of this, but it's understanding your business context, knowing why exactly a KPI actually matters, and even interpreting your stakeholder needs, right? AI would also not be able to build trust with decision makers, because I've gone into rooms where you're trying to sell an AI solutions and people are like, oh, what are talking about like the privacy of their data, right? So this is actually where you as a person comes in, right? AI will not solve problems that actually require judgment. It needs you as a person, you, the human in the loop factor, into that picture, right? To actually solve these problems that actually require judgment. And there are three major truths that every data professional must actually understand about AI today. And the first one is that AI democratization is real, right? Anyone, and I mean anyone, can now build functional tools using ChatGPT, Cloud, Cursor, and the likes of them, Lovable and the likes of them. So someone without technical background, like somebody that did not go through your own, you learning Power BI, SQL, and all of that thing, can now build like a basic dashboard, even clean data set by just uploading this data to ChatGPT, can generate SQL query by just telling this is what I want to do, right? They can create documentation and even build like a small automation using AI, right? This is happening today as we speak, not tomorrow. And what this means for us is that it means that technical skills are no longer enough, right? The barrier to entry has actually collapsed. But the truth is that democratization does not actually reduce our value. It just increases the competition that we have, right? And your value is actually no longer the tool that you are using. Your value is now your problem solving. And that shift is actually very, very important. So now we need to know that our title alone will not protect us, but our problem solving skills would actually protect us. Number two, technical skills are now baseline. We used to stand out because we could master tools like our Power BI, Tableau, Python, and the likes of that. But now that AI can write code even faster than all of us, and AI can generate this DAX expression in seconds, and even troubleshoot some of our queries or some of our codes, right? And even tell us how to optimize them. Our technical skills alone cannot be the differentiator, right? What would actually differentiate us now is if we can actually understand context, understand the problem, if you can ask the right questions, right? If you can actually interpret, okay, AI is saying this, but can we I've had times when I use AI to give me a code and it gives me the wrong code, right? But if I don't understand how that code actually works, I wouldn't know that it's actually the wrong code, right? So you have to think beyond so many things. Can I actually make a recommendation that aligns with business goals? That is why, even as much as we're in this AI driven era, most of us that are data professional will still remain very, very essential, right? Because of some of these things, because we know exactly what actually matters, right? And number three is that the work has actually changed overnight. Before AI, most of us spent our time executing, right? We would spend a lot of time cleaning data, building reports, and even writing some of our codes, right? And but today now, what the tools would do for you is like they will do the execution, right? But what your job now is to do is to actually think and analyze. Even if you want AI to do the job for you, you have to think properly to come up with a good prompt before it would actually do that case scenario. So our jobs right now have moved from that execution to actually thinking, to analyzing, to guiding the decisions, and even ensuring that the solutions that AI is churning out for us align with our strategy. So if before your value came from how fast you were when it comes to executing, you're at risk, right? Because now these are the things that AI is doing for everybody. But if your value comes from how well you actually think, just think of it that you've become much more valuable, because AI cannot replace how you actually think. Now that we know all these, tools are not the differentiator, right? And speed is also not the differentiator. What exactly actually matters now? And what matters now is our capability, right? Our human capability, human judgment, if you ask me, and also human problem solving. So our capability, our judgment, and our problem solving. This leads me to the 5 capabilities that are actually very, very important for every future data professional. The 5 C's. And I like to, I'm calling them the 5 C's because these are very core concepts that are very, very important for all of us to understand. And they are the capabilities that will keep you relevant and competitive and even keep you in demand, right? Now, what do I mean? To succeed in this AI era, you need these 5 capabilities because AI cannot replace them. And I'm going to break them clearly and practically, right, into smaller bits. And I'm talking context understanding, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and continuous learning. So you as a data professional, for you to thrive, you must demonstrate all 5 of these C's. Let's start with the first one, which is actually context understanding. AI can give you an output, but only you can tell what makes sense. Think of it again. AI can, this is like a quote. If you're looking for this thing, AI can give you output, but only you can actually tell what makes sense. And it's actually the foundation for anything that you're actually building. And when we talk about context understanding, we talk about your ability to actually understand the business. What problem are you actually trying to solve? Who is the stakeholder, right? What does success looks like? What metric actually matters? Now, let me tell you something. I, as an analyst, and another person as an analyst can generate the same dashboard, but the only person that truly, like the person that actually understands context is the one that understands the story behind the numbers. AI cannot learn context. Let me tell you the truth. Only you can understand context. I will give you an example, right? If, for example, you build like a delivery time dashboard and you already know that whoever is looking at that thing, the numbers mean nothing unless they actually understand like the difference between people that are coming into their restaurants to dine in and the people that are that this food is actually being delivered to. Do you get? So it's not like if you are looking at your delivery time that is low, but you're not taking into context like the dining cost, number of dining customers and the number of food that is being delivered, you are not understanding context, or you are thinking, or you're not putting into context like some of your operational constraints. You are not putting into context, and AI cannot learn context. Only you can know this because you understand the reality, right? So professionals like me and you that understand context will be able to identify real business problem, interpret some of these insights that even AI will generate for us correctly, and even propose solutions that would actually go very, very, very fast. So I will tell you for a fact that in this our own AI era, context is actually your currency, right? Let's move to the next one, which is like your critical thinking. And if I'm telling you that context is understanding, right? Or context, when I say context, I'm saying, you understanding what is actually happening, right? Critical thinking is you thinking about why exactly it is happening. So context understanding is what is happening. Critical thinking is you thinking about like why is it happening, right? What this means is that you are asking better questions. So even if you are using AI, you are prompting better, right? You're challenging some of the assumptions. AI can tell you that this is the reason, but because of you have like hypothesis already, you are challenging these assumptions to say that, oh no, this is not it. You are validating the data to be sure that yes, data quality is very important. You are sure that okay, this and this and this are acting as they should, right? You are also anticipating like consequences that you probably did not expect. So think of critical thinking as your ability to challenge the assumptions, verify these results, validate the data quality, identify these data gaps, and even consider risk, right? So it's majorly you thinking beyond the surface. Trust me, AI will confidently give you the wrong answer if your prompt is wrong. Like I'm telling you with confidence, AI will write a full script for you and you think that, oh, this thing has answered or it has given you, but it has given you totally BS, right? And most times, I don't know if anybody knows, but AI hallucinates a lot, right? We have had them try to improve some about this model. Right now, currently, I heard that for the LLMs, Gemini 3 is acting very, very good. I mean, I've not tried it, but you've noticed like some of this AI, they will hallucinate a lot. There are situations where it gives you a result and you even tell it that no, your result is wrong, and you say, oh yes, you are right. Then why did you give that result before, right? So it hallucinates a lot, and it's going to actually produce analysis that you would think is correct, but it is contextually wrong, right? Now, your job as a professional, as a data professional, is to actually interrogate this output, right? Now, if, for example, you are doing a sales or analysis and you're doing time intelligence analysis, for example, and AI tells you that, oh, sales are up by 30%, right? You as a critical thinker, what you start to do is you start to ask questions that, okay, these sales are up by 30%. Are you talking by the revenue or by the volume of sales, or by like what are the things did you exclude refunds? Did you start to ask some of these questions so that you are sure that it has given you the right answer. And trust me, critical thinking is actually a muscle. If you can think properly, it's going to be the strongest muscle you as a data professional can actually have. Let's move to the third C, right, which is creativity. And some of us often underestimate like how important creativity is in data work. Well, we shouldn't, right? Because creativity shows up in how you actually design your workflows, how you actually clean your data, the way you craft your insights, the way you build your dashboard, the way you build your solutions, how you actually visualize these stories, how you actually propose so many things like that, right? And creativity is now a very, very core analytical skill, if you ask me, right? Because you are majorly imagining new cases for AI. You are building better dashboards that would actually improve decision making, right? For example, I can give you an example. Recently, I was building I was working on an OCR task where I had to extract like menu ingredients from a lot of PDFs, right? But because of this is something that I can easily plug in my LLM to do the work. But what I did before that was I decided to structure this data, like build a fake database, right? Build a mock database to say, okay, this is how you're going to categorize whatever you're going to extract. And it made the job exactly easy. It's just me trying to be creative, and creativity just actually helps you choose the best option and even elevate it, right? And you should know that AI can generate a lot of ideas for you, different ideas. If you prompt AI, for example, it can give you different reasons or different, maybe you say you want to build a sales dashboard. It can give you maybe 10 different options of different sales dashboard that you want to build. But you as a person are going to decide what is actually usable. Right, you're the one that will decide that, oh no, I don't want to add this data to it, and I don't want to actually put this one to it, right? And you as an analyst or you as a professional, if you can think creatively, you're going to become the next new set of innovators. Let's talk about the fourth C here, which is actually collaboration, right? And this is something I want to point out to everybody. The future is not AI versus humans. It is actually AI versus humans versus teams. You have to actually be very, very collaborative, right? And you are not just collaborating, like maybe just you're collaborating with you're not just collaborating with AI agents, you're collaborating with like your AI agents, you're collaborating with the engineers, your product team, business team, and even stakeholders, right? That is collaboration. Our work has changed as data professionals. It's not just about like, oh, you just want to sit down and write your SQL queries or, build your dashboard and everything. Your success actually depends on how well you collaborate with all these groups that I've mentioned earlier on, right? And it's not just about this thing. It means that whatever you are doing, you even be able to defend your recommendations. Because for example, if I work with the marketing to actually churn out or build whatever I want to build, I get some sort of like human in the loop, or that trust factor there to say, okay, they were actually in the loop when I was building this thing, right? And when you collaborate with AI, it means that you're going to be, prompting effectively. You are reviewing the outputs that AI is giving you. You're integrating AI more into whatever you are building and understanding when to actually trust it and when to actually override it. And I'll tell you for a fact that collaboration is no longer a nice to have. It's actually even like, when we talk about competency for leadership, that is collaboration. You have to actually learn to collaborate. Now, most people will stop at this fourth C, but I would like to take it up notch, right? Which is continuous learning. Trust me, I'm sure nobody believed that the internet would be like this, right? That would have this, the internet will grow so far. And this is just the beginning stage of AI. AI would be like, it will be explosive in years to come. We don't know what else like AI. We've seen AI move from just, being chatbots where you just, feed in your knowledge base and it gives you a result, to actually going online to do shopping research for us, right? And even linking us to where we can get some of these items from us. So the people that refuse to actually learn, right, will not be replaced. The people that refuse to actually learn will actually be replaced, not actually by AI, but you see those ones that are actually using AI and the ones that are actually embracing AI, those are the people that they are going to be replaced by. Right. So you that have refused to learn and refused to say, okay, you want to borrow or pick insight from AI, you're going to be replaced by people that are already collaborating with AI, right? And one thing you should know is that things, like I mentioned earlier, things are changing very fast. Our tools are evolving. In fact, majorly every website you go to now, you just see that touch of AI thing, trying to make things easy, right? For this, a lot of businesses have expectation, and if you as a professional cling to your old methods, you're going to struggle, right? But people like me that are deciding to actually stay curious and keep learning and keep building with AI would actually thrive. So something I would tell you is, for you to actually get that competitive edge, you need to stay curious. I need you to start experimenting with new tools, start building small projects, follow all these industry trends. I mean, there are a lot of new shiny tools. Microsoft released Fabric, I think that was last year, and I don't work with Fabric very closely, but I had to read about it and understand what exactly Microsoft Fabric is all about. That is you following industry trends. Learn from your peers. Most times people release all these articles, right? Look at what they are doing, right? Read documentation. Explore some of these AI agents that are being introduced. You actually do not need to know everything, but you must be committed to actually learning these things consistently, because your ability to grow in would actually become your biggest competitive advantage. Now that we know all these things, right? I think we need to talk about how to actually adapt, right? What are some of the things that me as a data professional, what I actually need to know, right? And I'm going to group this into like 3 different buckets, right? Some of the core things that every data professional should know is technical skills, right? Some of the tools and technologies that you need strong technical foundation, right? But actually with, you need to integrate AI into it, right? We're going to talk more on that. And I'm talking, when you are doing whatever you are doing, you need knowledge in like your prompt engineering, your agentic workflows, just you basically thinking that you know when to automate and when to actually think manually, right? You also need business acumen. Understand, I've talked more a lot about this when I was talking about context understanding. Business acumen is what would actually separate you from the crowd, because AI will give anybody insights, even that your stakeholder or that person that is employing you, that CEO employing you, it will give them insights, but only you will be able to explain how this data would actually impact the business. So it's important that you understand, things like, oh, what's the revenue model, right? What's the customer journey? What are the value drivers? What are the risks? What is even the decision-making progress here, right? So now organizations are hiring analysts to actually understand business, not even data. That is why they tell you that domain knowledge is very, very important. And lastly, you need human skills, because, and I think this is the most underrated, most of us stop at technical skills. I mean, these days we are going forward with like business acumen, but now mostly people will just stop at technical skills. You need to, in as much as you know how to write SQL query, you know how to write DAX, you need to be able to actually communicate your data clearly. Storytelling is very important. Influence, right? You need to understand how to actually manage whatever story you are actually telling, how to actually build trust. Because trust me, if you present a data to me today, your numbers are correct, tomorrow today your numbers are incorrect, tomorrow is incorrect, I will not trust you again. That is why you need that human in the loop, and these are not the things that AI can replicate, right? Now, just like I mentioned, technical skills, I've already started explaining what some of all these things mean. But when I talk about your technical skills, I'm not talking about you leaving AI on the side and you're just going to maybe Coursera or Udemy. I'm talking about like you are learning, and you're even learning with you're implementing LLMs, you're implementing AI into whatever you are doing, right? Most times in fact, the fastest way to learn, if you're just learning, is when you don't understand the concept, go and copy and paste that thing in ChatGPT. It will explain that concept and that topic for you even better way than what you even saw in the distance. For me, I just like to put something like, I'm a novice, I'm a beginner, I don't understand anything about this. Explain to me in the basic form possible. Give me real world and real life examples, and you will see what AI can do. This is not something you get in courses, right? Your prompt engineering, it has to be on point, right? If possible, take courses that would enable you to use prompt engineering properly. It's not about saying do this. You want to give it context properly, right? Automation. Some persons will tell you that, if I automate the process, that means they will say they do not need me again. But these are things that are actually very, very important. You have to know when to actually automate and when to actually think manually, right? Now let's talk about business acumen. I already spent a lot of time on here where I was talking about you having domain expertise, right? Like thinking of, what the customer journey would look like, some of the value drivers, the risk, and even like, the decision making process, right? And then human skills too. I mentioned this, right? You want to be able to build trust. You also want to make sure that whenever you bring a report or you bring anything to say, okay, this is it, everybody believes that you have done the groundwork and you're actually telling what exactly is, right? Now, how exactly do we actually thrive in this, in this AI augmented world, right? And I'll tell you for this, it's not just about you working with speed, it's about you becoming a multiplier. What do I mean by you becoming a multiplier? Multipliers are not people that, they don't just do the work. They actually elevate others around them. And I've just grouped this into into four different angles. Speed, right? You want to build AI workflows that will speed up like your team, right? I'm going to give you a sample or a simple example here. In my organization, we started thinking about how the fact that onboarding process is actually really, really difficult, right? You have to wait for approvals from so many departments. And then we decided to build an AI agent that does what? Simplifies that onboarding process, right? Such that whenever IT already knows what to do, this department already knows what to do. And it's just very, very easy for whoever is joining a new team, right? Also, scaling, right? Creating templates that others can actually reuse. This one is very, very important, right? Sometimes when you want to build anything, documentations is actually very important. A lot of people try to override documentation, but it is very important, because imagine a scenario where you are not in that place again, or you are not even there, but you want somebody to use it. If there's a proper documentation in place, they would easily look at that documentation and work towards actually using it to actually solve that problem or do whatever they want to do. Impact, you have to be able to teach others. It's not just about you knowing how to do this thing, to do the work, right? The fastest way you can grow as a data professional is by teaching others. That actually cements the knowledge and makes you know that yes, I actually understand this thing, and it's also even help make people even actually trust you even the more, which leads me to trust. Like, you want to become the go-to person in your organization when it comes to all these things. You want to become indispensable. So when you're a multiplier, you actually become indispensable. I'll soon be rounding up, but let's quickly talk about like leadership in the AI era, right? Now, when this in this period, it's very important that you lead. And what do I mean? You're improving systems. I mentioned a scenario of where, we figured out the onboarding process was an headache, and we decided to build like an AI solution that would actually simplify that onboarding process, right? So improving system is important. Data quality, this one is very, very important, because like I mentioned, nobody's going to trust you if you give results that are incorrect, right? You want to be the guardrail for accuracy and trust. That is how to actually lead in this our own AI era. You also want to be the person that champions, automation in your corner. Oh, we've been doing this thing manually for a long time. I think that we should do it this way. It will become automated, and this way you are driving AI adoption in whatever area that you actually find yourself. Also, don't wait to be asked. It's very good to bring new solutions, right? There are so many there are so many things that you can just wake up and say, okay, or look at a problem that your organization is facing and say, I think we should do this thing. It will actually help us, automate some processes, do this. So it's very important that you are proposing new ideas. And just like I mentioned before, empower your team, share your knowledge, right? Don't be a gatekeeper. Share your knowledge so that everybody can actually benefit. This way you are becoming a multiplier. And I'm just going to just briefly touch on some of these pillars of AI leadership, right? And we'll talk about ethical AI. These things are very, very important, because you don't want to tell a lie in whatever model that you are building, right? You don't want to tell a lie. You also want to make sure that whatever you are building, you are putting humans in the loop. There's a reason why in my organization, we sell a lot of AI solutions, and one of our offerings is we tell our clients that we are going to give you, so there's going to be somebody attached to this product that whenever the person is monitoring and keep changing. I mentioned earlier that AI can hallucinate. You don't want a situation whereby in the real world, like, okay, you're just typing, but in the real world, one AI causes like a lot of problems. We've seen a lot of AI disasters, right? And we don't want that to happen. So there's always you have to always have, there has to always be like a human in the loop. Data governance is very important. I cannot even overemphasize on this one. Quality, your data quality, data security, your data privacy. Data privacy is something that, especially in this our own part of the world, we've not even really taking it seriously. We're seeing them as options, but they are not optional. They are actually very, very, very important. Data privacy is very important. You see people, any small thing, accept cookies. You don't even know what you're accepting, right? It's very, very important. Data governance, for you to lead in this AI era, data governance is of importance. Also, whatever you are building, you don't want to just build for building's sake. You want to make sure that whatever you are building to actually serve the business goal and not the other way around. And you want to build something that actually would work for everybody. You're not building and taking out a certain thing. If you tell me that you're building something for me, I want to be able to actually use this, right? So everything that we've been discussing in the past 30 minutes, I'll tell you that it comes to this whole mindset shift, right? I want us to stop competing with AI and start actually directing it, right? Stop asking questions like, oh, is AI going to take my job? Instead, what you should be asking is, how am I going to use AI to actually amplify my impact in this organization? Because I'll tell you for a fact that AI is not here to replace you, just like I've been saying. It's here to actually extend. You see it as an extension of you. And every professional who actually knows how to think will always outperform the one who only knows how to execute, right? And as I wrap up, I want you to remember this: AI will not erase your relevance, right? It will amplify your impact. And our future, the future of data, does not belong to who codes the fastest. It belongs to the clearest thinker, the most curious learner, and even the one who is actually very, very, the problem solver that is actually very, very creative, right? That is actually the real advantage, and that is the human advantage. And that is why we as problem solvers will actually lead the AI era. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm happy to take your questions. And you can follow me on all social media platforms. I'm Rita_Tina, and on LinkedIn it's Tina Okonkwo, or you can follow the link on the screen. So thank you very much for listening to me. I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you so much, Tina Okonkwo, for that impactful. I felt like you should just go on and on and on and on and on. It was in fact so many take homes, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for teaching us about the 5 C's. Thank you for leaving us with that question, that thought that we should move from thinking that AI will take our jobs and move into how we can work with AI. And it was so funny to me when you mentioned that AI hallucinates, because I know a lot of us who use AI have had those experiences. I see some people fighting with AI. No, that is not what I asked you to do. This is what I asked you to do. And AI will say, sorry, let me try that again. And it still brings up something entirely different, So we've all been there, So yeah, it's really important for us to know that beyond, you can't just, AI will not do everything. It still needs the human factor in it, to be able to give us the results that we are looking for. So once again, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for that. And another thing I think I really took from this is the data analysts and business intelligence experts. We have to know that, before now people think that, okay, let me do it. Let it be me. We don't want to collaborate. But, collaboration is what takes you where you need to be. The more you share, the more you are going higher. That's a different mindset from what we are used to. So it's I think that's something that everybody should take home from. Don't hoard knowledge, be a multiplier, just like we have been told. Thank you so much for that. I would like to call on Deborah to take over the Q&A answer session. So Deborah, if you're online, please handle the Q&A.
All right, thank you so much, Loretta. Special thank you to our speaker, Ms. Tina, for the insightful lecture. This session has been really educative and has opened my mind to the countless possibilities within the data industry with the help of AI. Some key points from my end are the areas where you acknowledge the paradox of the existence of AI for data professionals. To explain that, I mean, where we feel like, yes, AI is awesome, it is solving some problems for us, but again, when we look at the impact it is having or the capabilities, we get scared and we wonder, wow, hope this AI will not take my job. But you went further to say that despite the power of AI and the threats to jobs in the industry, we can stand out by leveraging our human skills like problem solving, critical thinking, context understanding, collaboration, effective communication, business acumen, among others. Another point to note is that data professionals can create impact by improving systems within our organization, being proactive by providing solutions, and building trust. Because who would trust a data analyst or a data professional who keeps bringing the wrong solutions every time? So another point is to teach what you know to carry others along, which is very, very important because it also reinforces the knowledge you already have as a data professional. And lastly, that's the last point from my end, is that we should have a mindset shift and think of how we will use AI to create our next opportunity instead of thinking that AI would steal our jobs or take our jobs. Thank you so much for this lecture. So this session is the question and answer session. If you have any question, kindly indicate by raising up your hands. We have Tina on the floor to address your question. So how it goes is you indicate by raising up your virtual hands, and I'll pick from the list. But before we start picking questions, before we start taking questions, I have a personal question for Miss Tina. Miss Tina, what does it mean to build in public? Because this concept of building in public, many people don't really understand it, and we need clarity on that. What does it mean to build in public? Thank you.
Thank you for asking that question, and it's something I think when you're reading my bio, I'm sure you must have seen that I'm a very big advocate for building in public, and I'll tell you why. This is not something that I just picked up, right? It's something that's tested and trusted. When I started out my journey in tech, need I say, like I am one of the people with like one of the fastest growths, right, in tech. What do I mean? I started learning in like I started learning, and in under 4 months, I landed my first full-time opportunity as a data analyst. So, and for me, that's like a major, because people will tell you that, oh, you have to do this thing for years before you actually get that first opportunity. I might be an outlier, but what are those things that actually helped me building in public? And when I say building in public, most people think building in public is that, oh, what was this thing they do on LinkedIn? I'm excited to. I'm so thrilled to. That is not building in public. Building in public is that you are sharing everything. I mean, the challenges, your learnings, everything that you have actually encountered. I remember then when I started, and it's not because of public validation or because of the likes. And at the point when I started sharing online, it was a way for me to reinforce my learnings, right? I was using DataCamp as a platform then to learn. And when I finish any module or lesson, what I would do is I'll just, try to see it as I'm educating people that, oh, these are the things that I learned from these courses and this. And even while I was building projects too, sometimes maybe I don't know how to use a particular feature. I'll just come online and put it, oh, I don't think I understand this. One of the friends I've made from the data community, I made that friend just because I'd come online to put that I don't understand joins. Like, it's giving me a tough time. Like, joins is giving me a tough time. And she took her time to explain it. This is actually building in public. You're actually putting everything that you're actually learning. You've seen people that would tell you that, oh, I've learned Excel, I've learned SQL, I've learned this thing, I've even built projects, but I don't have a job. The market has shifted from, you just trying to, like, you see an application online and you apply. The market has shifted from you doing that to people just saying, oh, I know this person online that she's a very good data analyst. I want to poach that person. I want her to come work for me. Every job that I've actually gotten was because somebody reached out to me online, referrals. And why have they trusted me so much is because of I've built that timeline and that legacy of, like, this is me, this is who Tina is in terms of like my data. And no, I'm not saying that you should come and tell everybody that, oh, I just got married, oh, I just got this. I'm saying in terms of career, right? You want to you want to position yourself as a thought leader, somebody that understands. And I'm not saying go online to argue that Excel is better than Google Sheets or Power BI is better than Tableau. I'm saying I'm learning this thing and I'm coming online to tell you that, oh, today I learned import pandas as PD. Oh, I learned this stuff, and I'm saying that, oh, this is how to actually do my data modeling. That is what building in public is. And I would advise everybody, if you're on here, you've not started building. I mean, all of us cannot be extroverts, right? Like, what I mean by extroverts, some people are very shy and they don't know how to put themselves out there. And it's as little as, you see that thing, you will tell your friend that, I've started learning data analytics. So that is the same thing. You're just telling you're telling your online friends that you're just doing this thing. So you have to build systems and processes to be able to do this, right? And consistency matters. It's not about you just posting and say, oh, you post this today, this month, and then before you post again, maybe 2 months later. So it's very, very important. I'm encouraging everyone on this call to start building in public. You attended this event, for example, go online, make a post. Oh, I attended the first conference of this, and this is what I learned. These are my key takeaways. Very, very important that you start doing all of. So this is an encouragement to all of us to start building in public. I hope I've answered your question properly, Deborah.
Yes, you did perfectly well. Thank you so much. And to add, for beginners, joins can be so confusing. So Now let's move on to Obina and Malaha. You have your hands raised. Kindly unmute and ask your questions. Thank you.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tina Okonkwo, for your amazing presentation. In my rating, I can say that you have 101%, because I understood virtually everything you presented today. My questions are: number one, how can one automate his prompt or query effectively? And number two is under data privacy, where you talked about accepting cookies. I'm a victim of that. Virtually every site I enter, that thing will pop out, and it will look as if I didn't accept it, I will not get what I'm looking for. So I see it as a norm that you must accept. So I want to know whether I should not accept or I should accept before I go into some of those sites. And when you were mentioning your handle, I didn't get it very well. Your LinkedIn handle, so that one can join you for maybe follow up subsequently. So, and the last question I want to ask is, um, in the area of you said that people sells AI solutions. I want to know which kind of the apps or solution I can get that will help me in building short movies or graphic designs, maybe in terms of what I'm doing. I just want to display it in form of graphic design. I don't have any ability or skill in graphic designs. Is there any shortcuts using app or AI solution to help me achieve that? Thank you.
I'll start from maybe. Okay, I'll just answer your questions. Anyway, I remember it. By the way, I will share a link to my LinkedIn. I'll just put it in the chat before I leave, so you have that. But I'll start from the first one where you mentioned how do you actually automate your prompts. For me personally, I have like a checklist, for example, because I build a lot of dashboards, and I have like a checklist I use when it comes to prompting AI to help build my chatbot, right? And I think at a point in time, I even used Gemini to actually create like a sub agent or an agent of like that has like, what I just feed in is, the industry I'm working on, I just give it like some context, and it will just generate like, how I should go about building that dashboard. So one way you can actually do that is, you think, like, in fact, this is something you can even work with AI to even generate, right? That you need like list of prompts that will enable you to build any kind of or do any kind of task for any kind of industries, right? Depending on what you are doing. So I don't know what exactly this is, but this is something that you can do and have that checklist somewhere whenever you want to build anything, or you just pick it up and you start building. You start building from them. Now, when it comes to data privacy, this is that I said, in our own part of the world, it is actually not. People are not this thing. Something that I've used to escape, because there are some rightly as you mentioned, there are some sites they will tell you must accept, right? So something that I've used to escape that part is opening that website in incognito mode, right? So that like after I close that website, we're done. There's nothing. So using private browsing, right, to do that. Now, that accept all thing, not like it's a to accept cookies is bad though. But the thing is that when you go through some of the things you're accepting, it might be that you have given them access to track every site you are going to visit and everything, because what they basically do is, they collect your data, collect your information to help you recommend like the best solution or position their websites to be better for you, right? But sometimes you don't want that because you don't know the level of what they are going to collect. You don't know the level of information they are going to collect. You don't know if they are going to be collecting your passwords, so you don't want to make that mistake. That's why most times I just decline cookies. So instead of accepting, because you see accept, you see decline, I would always decline cookies. So in that particular case, one thing you can use to escape that one is actually visiting our websites in private browsing mode or incognito mode. Then lastly, about AI solutions. So basically, in my own organization, practically what we do is we talk to clients. Clients tells us their problem, and then, we do, for example, I can give like several instances, like some of the clients we've spoken to, or one of our clients had an issue with like procurement. They wanted us to be able to build a solutions that can actually scout, right, or check histories of their past purchases and everything, scout and give them like the best option, best pricing, and even where to actually get this particular products for them. So we built an AI solution for them. So most of the AI solutions we built is always narrowed towards a problem that we figure out that there's a problem in this particular space. Now, about you getting an AI solution that would actually help you for graphic design, I know we have like some of the I think Gemini is Nano Banana, Sora, and Midjourney, and the rest of that you can use to build graphic design. But I don't think AI has gotten to that level of churning out great images. Something that I've been using recently is I use Canva a lot, and Canva has like this AI feature, and I've been using that, but I have basic graphics design knowledge, so I just use that to improve whatever Canva has given me. So you might want to try like the AI feature in Canva, or if you are somebody that you don't mind, when people see your graphics and they can already tell immediately that, oh, this is AI, you can decide to go for, the Sora, Midjourney, and even like Nano Banana. I think Nano Banana actually is the best. Nano Banana is the image this thing on Gemini, actually. I hope I've answered all your questions. Did I miss out any? I think I have.
Yes, Prof, you answered all. So I'm expecting the link to your LinkedIn.
Yes, I will drop that here. All right. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Tina, for that insightful answer. The next on our list is Felix Mue. Can you unmute to ask your question?
Yeah. Good morning, my dear colleagues, and good morning, Ms. Tina. I'm so glad to be here today. And your presentation was an eye-opening one. It was such an impactful presentation. This is my first time attending, but I feel like I've been here right from the beginning because I've really learned a lot. So my question is, talking about data integrity and confidentiality. When working with an organization, is it ethical to upload their sensitive data into an AI prompt for analysis? If yes, what's the best way to go about it? And another one is, how do one get onboarded into your organization if they want to like advance their skills in AI and data analytics? Thank you.
Okay, first question, no, like a big capital no. And I'll tell you why. See, I've had scenarios where, I prompt ChatGPT of something, right? Like something this, and then maybe tomorrow they release a feature of that stuff that I'm trying to build. I mean, I've even seen this in online that ChatGPT is building everyone's, like they're adding everyone's company as a feature on their platform, right? So that is why it's not very, very, they take your ideas, forget all these things. They tell you that, oh, if you turn off privacy, you turn off this thing. There's like, how then do they remember your history, right? So it's not advisable. If it's in terms of maybe you want to build a report now, what I've always advised like people I teach and even like fellow colleagues to do is, create a mock. You have the data already, you have the columns, create a mock data of what that thing is supposed to look like, and this and everything you are doing, like anonymize it. What do I mean? For example, instead of saying, oh, I want to build this dashboard for PepsiCo, you can say, oh, I have an industry, or I'm a data analyst in an industry that sells drinks and beverages and everything, and I want to build a dashboard. This is my sample data. Like the same thing you would do if you were to upload that particular data, and then you do. So it's not advisable, it's not ethical to upload your an organization's data, your data into ChatGPT. It's not advisable at all. And for your second question, so basically what we do is it actually runs in like two models. It's not like maybe it's a training organization. So what we just basically do is we hire people that already have experience in the field, at least 2 years experience, and we just help upskill you properly, like to make you, because of work culture, because the organizations you're going to be working for are people in Europe, right? And because of that cultural differences, so this, but from time to time we always release like this thing. You can check out Jada Squad on LinkedIn and just follow them. So whenever there's like an opening or an opportunity, you'll be the first to know. I hope I've answered both your questions.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. We don't have any more hands, so okay. Yusuf Musa, can you unmute and ask away?
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for this insightful presentation. I'm really impressed. And we're glad to have you today. Thank you. So my question goes like this. How can professional balance leveraging AI's capabilities with developing uniquely human skills to remain relevant in the industry? Thank you.
Okay, so first thing is this, right? That's why I mentioned that whatever we're doing, we're only integrating AI, because I've seen people where the very first thing, when you have like a problem to solve, the very first thing is you actually want to just go to AI. What I've learned to do in my own years of experience is allow, AI to actually, undo all those repetitive and manual tasks, right? Or help me manage those tasks. For example, right? For example, writing my queries. If I attend meetings now, for example, and maybe I don't have time to go through all this thing, I can copy my meeting notes and tell it to actually summarize, right? Automate, just basically doing all those automation, suggesting visuals, telling me that, okay, this is how to write this DAX code. So doing all those, technical part of thing. And then for me, I let my own human strength actually shine in some of those C's that I've mentioned, right? Understanding the business context, right? I want to make sure that that is still my thing, right? When it comes to, like, for example, if I want to build any dashboard and in the business requirement gathering phase, for example, AI is not going to do that for me. I'll be the one to talk to the stakeholders and list out the things that they actually want, right? So AI is not actually going to do that for me. So understanding context, even when you finish building the report, you're still going to be the one to actually communicate. So what I just want you to do, or what I want everybody to think about, is actually create a workflow, right? Where AI just supports your thinking and not replaces it. And that's where that prompt engineering actually comes into place, because you prompt AI would draft something out for you. You would validate it, maybe give it back again, it would refine, and then you deliver, right? So that is just, don't treat it like, oh, it's doing the work for you. Just treat it like your personal assistant. I call ChatGPT my personal assistant, actually. So that is what you need to actually do. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much for that. We have a question from an anonymous participant that is asking, how do data professionals collaborate as newbies? That is, they are fresh into the industry. How do they collaborate in the field, especially when they do not yet have contacts? They don't yet have people they know, right? How do you advise they start off on that? Thank you.
I'll tell you how, and I like that we are in this conference together. This is my first example of how you can actually connect and actually collaborate, right? This session has been going on for what? 3 days. By now, if I were here, I would have made a friend. What do I mean? I should always be interacting in the comment section. I should look out for somebody that I feel like, oh, we share the same goals, or this person is interesting, or I would love to like, even put yourself out here to say, oh, I'm learning this, I'm doing this. I would love to connect with anyone that is actually learning the same thing as this and looking to build this. I'm looking for an accountability partner to actually do. You have to put yourself out there, trust me, and you have to be willing to bring in value. That is one way. Conferences like this, there are a lot of other conferences, both virtual, both in-person conferences, that you can, meet people and, get that connection and collaboration. Another one is community. I'm a big advocate for community because it has been an impact on my growth. And community is very important, right? If you are doing this professional, let it be that you are part of a community. Right? Community is a big key when you want, especially if you're an introvert, because by the time you see somebody, it's just that you are following the crowd, or you are just, okay, we're having meetings today, you're attending those meetings, you're having conferences, you attend. That is how you can get to collaborate and even engage with other people. So community is one. These conferences conferences like this is another example. I mean, there are a lot of ways we can do this. Building in public is also a key thing, because by the time you post, I remember most of the people, how I got connected to them was because I started posting, and they started engaging with my content, and that is just it. That's how I started collaborating with them. So number one, attend conferences and be visible in those conferences. Put yourself out there, right? And then the next one, join communities. I hope this has answered your question.
Yes, and to add to that, that is one of our major aim in NSDABI, where we connect professionals, we connect the newbies to professionals, and you get a whole vibrant platform where you can build in public, collaborate, and all of that. That is our major goal in NSDABI. So on to the next question. Yusuf Musa, your hand is up. Do you want to ask more questions, or should I proceed?
Yes, I have one question.
Okay, go on, please.
Okay, like I had one, you are answering one question. You talk about a template of like developing something related to procurement activities. So I work in a company and I was shouldered with the responsibility of like developing a price intelligence bot, whereby it will be showing different prices within like in a monthly term or weekly term. But I couldn't be able to achieve that due to some factors of like saying, how do I get the prices and other stuff. I will be glad if you can help me with a way forward of attending to this problem, because my boss have been asking of this and I couldn't be able to get a way forward. Thank you.
I'll tell you something, right? And that's why I say that there's nothing that you want to do that if somebody has not tried before, or this thing. That's where research is very important. I don't know how far your research was, and this is also for everybody, incorporating LLMs and AI, generative AI, into your research, right? And is the result AI will give you is only as good as whatever prompts that you give it, right? Just the same way you have told me this problem that you're trying to build a price intelligence bot, but you don't know how to get the prices, or you don't know what to. If you go to your LLM now and you tell it the same thing, trust me, it's going to give you different options. Because I could remember when we were building this thing, we had to consult a lot, right, with generative AI, with LLMs, to say, okay, give us like a framework of how this thing is going to look like in the end, right? So this is something that you might want to try. Go to ChatGPT or any LLMs you are using, ChatGPT or Claude preferably, that's Anthropic. It will probably give you how to do this. And then something you might want to embrace to help you do this thing is using no code or low code AI automation tools, like your N8, for example, right? Where you can just feed it a prompt, it goes to connect somewhere, and it does the entire process for you. And you just, maybe all you need to do is now build a front end or the interfaces with that back end that you've actually done. I don't know if my answer is clear to you and you understand what I mean. You can go and research how to build workflows with N8. It would give you an insight into like how to actually go about this process.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Please, can you help me with the site on the chat box?
Okay, I would, I think it's anything.io, if I'm correct. Done.
Okay, thank you, Ma.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for that. Loretta, your hand is up. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I have a question to ask. I mine is more on your organization. I remember you mentioning at the beginning that you build solutions for people. So I wanted to find out, like, my own organization is working on automating their processes. So is that something your company is also into? Because we are looking
Yeah.
for IT firms that handle that. So, and who do I reach out to get a proposal for something like that?
I mean, the best places, maybe I'll just drop the LinkedIn profile here. So you can just, you can send a message on LinkedIn and you will get a response. I think, I'm coming. Just trying to
Okay.
get quickly. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's
definitely.
the LinkedIn profile of your organization.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next is Sani Abdul Rahman. Can you ask your question? Kindly unmute to ask your question, Abdul Rahman.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Tina, for the wonderful presentation. So my question is that I used to code a lot. So can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah. So I used to code a lot, and I normally use DeepSeek to generate my codes. So if it does not work, I copy the code and paste to ChatGPT to for it to debug the code for me. So I wanted to ask if there is a better way of coding than this my normal plan.
Okay, so I think the best way, or something that has worked for me most recently, is rather than even copy the code and go to ChatGPT on your VS Code. So I don't know what IDE you use, but on your VS Code, there's a way to actually add like Copilot, right? And what Copilot does is you just prompt it in natural language to tell it that, okay, maybe the code, maybe there's a particular feature you're trying to change, or the code is not working as it's supposed to work. You just prompt it to say this, and this, and this, and it's just the same thing you go and do in ChatGPT. You can do it there, and automatically in your own IDE is going to change the code, or actually make the code better, and you just have to apply. So you are not, moving in between two different interfaces to do copy and make. One thing I've realized is when you use ChatGPT or any of these LLMs to refine your code, sometimes, like Claude is very, very guilty of that. It just rewrites the entire code for you, and at the end of the day, you are back to, you just feel like you're running around in circles, right? Maybe you already have something that's working properly before, you just needed to do just a tiny tweak, but because you have given it to LLM and LLM has changed the entire code, you are back from scratch again. So one thing that can really help is just maybe try the method of, in VS Code, add Copilot and start using it to refine your code in there.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so the last on our list is Folashade Akinloye. Can you unmute to ask your question?
Hi, good morning. Thanks, Tina, for this beautiful lecture. It's quite impactful and insightful. Even though I'm unable to follow 100% of the presentation, but the one I was able to, I'm really, really enlightened. That being said, you mentioned something right now about Copilot. Actually, have had issues using Copilot of recent, this Microsoft Copilot. So I want to ask, is it that you have to subscribe to it before you can be able to make use of it? Or is there a free version? Or how do we go about it? And I would also like to link up with you after this conference. And then the
Okay.
second thing I like to ask is what are other AI tools? I think I've asked this question before, but I still want to ask again. What are the AI tools that you make use of, especially when you want to automate some of these repetitive tasks like data cleaning? You understand? So, what are those AI tools that you make use of? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I should start from this thing. So, in as much as I'm very, very pro AI, I'm one of those people that are actually very scared that I would forget how to do things because I'm relying so much on AI. Right? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, ChatGPT is my PA, but sometimes I get worried that whenever there's anything, I'm just like, oh, ChatGPT do this, ChatGPT do that, ChatGPT, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I might actually forget how to do some of these things, for real, right? But in as much as that is that old bias is there. So because of that old bias, I don't even actually use a lot of AI tools. It took me a long time. I think I recently just paid for the pro version of ChatGPT, and that's just because I wanted to get that. Okay, I think I was building a product and I just didn't want that max out thing because I was uploading a couple of documents rather than just typing them out. So I don't use a lot of AI tools. I'll tell you, aside from the general one and if you see, I mentioned that all these images own platform, I don't use, except that AI is embedded on that platform I'm using. But some of the ones I will tell you for free that I use is your Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek. I've tried DeepSeek, even though I don't use DeepSeek a lot. What again? Canva AI. I use that from time to time. I've tried Gamma. That's the one that helps you create like your PowerPoint slide and this symbol. It's not been really, it just helps me, put my points together, but it's not really been helpful in helping me really build my PowerPoint slides for a fact, because you have to do a lot of customization. So I'd rather do it from scratch. So those are like some of the AIs, and then some of these note takers that you have like in meetings, right? Those are the ones I use. But in terms of like Copilot, so the Copilot I'm talking about now is you just have to install, you have GitHub Copilot that you install the extension on your VS Code, right? So if you search for GitHub Copilot extension, you probably see it, and you just have to install it, and you start chatting just like how you chat with your LLMs. So that is the Copilot, and I know there's like a pro version of it, because there's a way you chat, and they will tell you that you have maxed out your this thing, you should upgrade to this thing, but it has a lot of credit that would help you build whatever you are building, except maybe you don't even actually know the code itself, so you are just building from there, allowing it ideate and iterate for you. I don't know if I've answered. I don't know if I missed out on all your. And yeah, for connecting, my LinkedIn is in the profile. Please send me a connection request, and we can, take up that conversation from there.
All right. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Tina, for that. And to add to what you said, it is important that we have an idea of the field we are working in. We need to have a framework before approaching AI, so that we get to be the drivers of our projects, and it's just assisting. Just like Tina mentioned, ChatGPT is like her personal assistant, not the CEO of the company. Okay, so that is a good point. Amalaha is raising his hand. Can you unmute to ask your question? That will be the last question for today. So can you unmute to ask your question, please? All right. It seems he is not on Ford. So let me end with this last question, which is very important because most of us here are data professionals and we have come to the end. We are literally at the end of 2025 and we are looking to 2026. What is in store for data professionals in 2026? What's the direction of the data industry as a whole? Moving forward, especially with AI in play now. And what would you advise, what specific niche would you advise data professionals to double down on, to focus on going into the year 2026? These are the two questions I have for you, Ms. Tina. Thank you.
Sorry, I was paying attention to the this thing. So first thing first, I think as we move into 2026 and even down the line, the way the world is going or the way AI is leading us to, and I can see things like, analytics, automation, prompt engineering. These are like the things these are like the directions, right, that we are going, especially automation. Trust me, people are building, like, right now, the hype behind AI agents and agentic AI is actually crazy. Most businesses are now saying, oh, I can, because if you listen to or if you speak to a lot of CEOs right now, they love ChatGPT. These people that they love ChatGPT a lot, and what they keep asking is, how do they actually, add something or add a component like ChatGPT into their own systems, such that they can actually they can grow and they can actually move beyond the basic that they are already at. So that is why I'm going to advise people, some of the skills that you should start picking up right now is AI automation, building workflows. You don't even have to, it has become so easy now that there are even no code and low code tools that would help you even pick up some of all these skills, right? Because people want to automate a lot of things. In as much as we will tell you that, okay, if I automate it, that means the person will not hire me, or that means they will let me go. But you have to start thinking beyond, you have to start thinking beyond that and start thinking about how to actually, learn automation and all those things. So if you ask me niche, right, I'll tell you that the most analysts, or from speaking from a data analyst and a business intelligence professional point of view, we should actually become AI enabled analysts, right? So you're picking skills and tools like, because your data has to be important before even your workflow is even great, right? So you're picking tools like your DBT, your Databricks, things that would help you build great pipelines, that would help you get solid data before you can build those AI agents. Because if you don't have good data, you cannot even build great workflows. You cannot even build great AI agents. So let's start looking at how to actually think of data warehousing, right? Analytics engineering. Let me just group it into that. Think of analytics engineering. So you're not just thinking I'm building dashboards. You are thinking beyond dashboard building. I mean, I started out wanting to be a data analyst, but I can tell you that I've touched everything, right? I've done the engineering part of thing. I've done the data science part of thing. I've done the ML part of thing. So you don't want to be in as much as we will say, don't be a generalist, but you still want to have idea about how all of all these things actually this thing. And then another thing that is very, very important, data storytelling. God, I cannot even overemphasize this on data storytelling and decision intelligence. You want to make sure that whatever you are doing, you are actually doing, you are telling a story about your data that would actually make any organization actually become actually help them make the right decision. That's why nowadays people don't even call themselves data analysts, they call themselves decision analysts. So these are some of the things that I want you to start looking at as we move into the new year.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Tina, for the insightful session. You really touched on many points that will help us as data professionals navigate the data industry going forward. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the interactive question and answer session. And again, NSW is where you find your data community. It is not a general platform for just any tech. It is strictly data and business intelligence. And if you're interested in finding a community, probably to collaborate, you can find your way to us. We are here for you, NSW. So I'll be handing over to Loretta as we come to the end of this. Yes, Miss Tina, please go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay. Sorry, I wanted to, because I'm seeing a question and the person has been dropping that in the comment section. So I wanted to say that before I just leave. And I think it's also a way for me to say goodbye, right? And it's
Yes.
any words for new and aspiring data analysts. Something I will tell you first of all is there's no room for giving up here. My mantra is it's either data analytics or data analytics. So there's no other option here. It has to work, right? Number one thing, you have to actually do the work. It's not by this, or you feel like you're not, do the work. You have to work really, really hard. That's number one thing, right? I have something I tell to my mentees, and it's that the universe rewards a stubborn heart. So if anybody can see you actually giving it a go, right? Your reward is actually coming. Next thing, be very consistent. It's not about showing up today and then the next time you want to open that Power BI course or this thing is next year. Create a routine around it, right? One of the best ways that have helped me create a routine and consistency is I tell myself that every day before I go leave my house, I have to brush my teeth, right? Think of you showing up for data or showing up for your distance as brushing your teeth, even if it's 20 to 25 days. I stay in Lagos and Lagos is chaotic, right? Because you have to be up by maybe 5 to beat the traffic, and before you're coming back, we don't do 9 to 5, we do 5 to 9. So before you come back, you're already really tired. So pick out 20 to 25 minutes out of your day to say this is where you want to be consistent and you are showing up. At least every day, let there be something to show for you. So consistency is very important. Community, I like the fact that Deborah and Loretta have actually been mentioning that this is actually a community. So make good use of it, right? Find a way to be involved in what. Don't just join for joining. Be a participant. Actually be active. Activity is very important, because tomorrow, if there's an opportunity that comes up and Deborah is looking for a data analyst, Deborah will only remember you because you in that community, you've actually been active and you've been talking about data stories and data things. So it's very, very important that you are actually active. And the last but not least, please don't give up. It's not easy, but I'll tell you for a fact, don't give up. I mean, if I did 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't be here. So I think that's where I would call it a wrap. But thank you so much for having me, guys. And congratulations to everybody on here for an amazing conference.
Thank you very much. Please don't leave, Miss Tina. We have a little presentation for you. And I would like to call on Elizabeth, our General Secretary, to do the presentation quickly before you leave us. Elizabeth, you have the mic.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Miss Tina. So we are still in the morning. So we have a little award for you. So on behalf of the organizers, on behalf of everybody, on behalf of the president, it's my honor to present an honorary certificate to our guest speaker, Ms. Tina Okonkwo, in recognition of the exceptional insight and value she has shared with us today. So, Ms. Okonkwo, your contribution has really enriched this session. Although we are connecting virtually, we are pleased to present this honorary certificate, which will be forwarded to you immediately after the event. Please, can everybody join me in appreciating Ms. Tina Okonkwo for her impactful engagement? Congratulations once again, and thank you very much, Ms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.